Video opens on a frantic, scratchy animation. A human silhouette is trapped inside a glass box. The walls of the box are covered in complex equations, flowcharts, and diagrams. The sound of a needle scratching vinyl. Narrator. You ever feel like your own brain is a hostile foreign government occupying your skull? It's got spies everywhere. In your heart. In your gut. Every time you have a simple, human impulse, to create something, to speak to someone, to take a risk, the intelligence agency upstairs shuts it down. Analysis. Risk assessment. Social cost-benefit calculation. It runs 1,000 simulations of your failure, each one more vivid and humiliating than the last. You want to act, but you can't. You're paralyzed. Frozen by the sheer, crushing weight of your own awareness. This isn't intelligence. This is a disease, a self-inflicted mental lockdown. Let's call it what it is, the curse of the knower. It's the sickness of seeing every path and walking none. Of knowing every rule to a game you're too afraid to play. But what if I told you the cure isn't to get smarter? What if the antidote is to get stupid? Stay with me. Because by the end of this broadcast, I'm going to give you the keys to your own cage. I'm going to show you how to weaponize ignorance, and why, in a world drowning in complexity, being an idiot is a genuine superpower. Title card slams onto the screen with the sound of breaking glass. The power of stupidity. Why being an idiot is a superpower. The text is jittery, hand-drawn. A splash of blood orange drips from the word stupidity. Phase 2. The problem, visual. The animation shifts. We zoom into the figure's eye. Inside the pupil, we see a first-person view of a party. The world is distorted, fish-eyed. People's faces are grotesque masks of judgment, their laughter a cacophony of distorted noise. Narrator. Let's get personal. Let's talk about you. You're the one in the corner of the room, holding a drink you don't want, running a constant, draining background process. You're analyzing social dynamics like a battlefield map. You see the alliances, the micro-expressions, the subtle shifts in power. You see the person you want to talk to, and in the space of 3 seconds, your brain has already written, directed, and focus grouped 100 failed conversations. If I say this, they'll think I'm trying too hard. If I say that, I'll sound ignorant. If I just stand here, I'll look like a creep. The window of opportunity doesn't just close. You watch, with surgical precision, as you nail it shut yourself. Visual. A hand, rendered in scratchy lines, is about to reach for a paintbrush. A dozen other spectral hands grab its wrist, pulling it back. The clean, white canvas remains untouched. This isn't just about social anxiety. It's in everything you do. You have that business idea, that book, that song rattling around in your head. But you can't start. Because you've already foreseen the pitfalls. You've read all the articles, watched all the tutorials. You know, with absolute certainty, that you're not ready. You need more research. A better plan. The perfect conditions that will never, ever arrive. Your knowledge has become a fortress. It keeps you safe. And it keeps you imprisoned. You've become a connoisseur of your own limitations. An expert in the field of your own potential failures. And here's the hidden cost. The little piece of razor blade in the candy bar. This state of paralysis isn't neutral. It's an acid. It slowly dissolves your life. Every choice you analyze into dust, every impulse you strangle in the crib, it carves a little piece out of you. You think you're being careful. You think you're being smart. But what you're really doing is becoming a ghost in your own story. A spectator. A beautifully complex, intelligent, well-researched machine that never gets switched on. The curse of the knower doesn't just stop you from living. It convinces you that this state of non-living is a virtue. A sign of your own sophisticated intellect. It's the most elegant trap ever designed. And you are both the prisoner and the architect. Phase 3. The solution, music shifts. How do you tear down the prison you've so carefully constructed? You don't fight intelligence with more intelligence. You don't outthink the overthinking. You fight it with its opposite. In 1869, the Russian novelist Fyodor Dostoevsky, a man who knew a thing or two about psychological prisons, gave us a key. He gave us a character so radical, so alien to the cynical world he occupied, that they had only one word for him: idiot. His name is Prince Lev Nikolaevich Myshkin. Myshkin arrives in the viper's nest of St. Petersburg society. A world of scheming, backstabbing, social climbing, and paranoid calculation. Sound familiar? But Myshkin doesn't play the game. He is completely, pathologically sincere. He is open about his epilepsy, his poverty, his feelings. He treats everyone, from a disgraced general to a fallen woman, with the same guileless compassion. He doesn't understand irony. He doesn't calculate his words for social advantage. And the people around him, the so-called smart ones, are completely disarmed. They see his simplicity, his lack of a mask, and they call him an idiot. Because in their world, a person without a hidden agenda is a functional moron. But they are wrong. Myshkin's stupidity is his weapon. It's a form of social aikido. He uses their own weight, their own complexity and cynicism, against them. His simple presence acts as a moral and psychological catalyst, exposing the rot and absurdity in everyone he meets. This is the solution. Not actual stupidity, but strategic stupidity. It's the conscious decision to unlearn the toxic habits of the over-analytical mind. It's the deliberate embrace of the idiot's way of being in the world. Let's break down the operating system of the strategic idiot. It runs on 3 core principles. First, the principle of sincere action. The knower acts based on a calculation of future outcomes. If I do X, I might get Y, but I risk Z. The idiot acts based on the simple, immediate truth of an impulse. I feel the need to do X. That's it. The action is its own justification. It's about reclaiming the purity of the verb. To paint. To speak. To help. Not as a means to an end, but as the end itself. It short-circuits the paralysis of consequence. Second, the principle of ego death. The curse of the knower is, at its heart, the shriek of a terrified ego. Your ego is that little gnome in your head that is pathologically obsessed with its own image. It lives in mortal fear of being judged, of looking foolish, of losing status. It's the one telling you not to ask that stupid question or try that new thing you'll be bad at. The strategic idiot operates as if the ego is already dead. They are not concerned with looking cool, or smart, or competent. They are concerned with the reality of the moment. If you can kill that fear of looking stupid, you are suddenly, terrifyingly free. Third, the principle of unshielded honesty. The world of the knower is built on layers of performance, white lies, and unspoken rules. You modulate your personality for your boss, your friends, your family. It's exhausting. Myshkin's power comes from his refusal to do this. He presents one unified self to the world. He says what he means, with no filter of social calculation. This isn't about being an asshole. It's about being radically, vulnerably authentic. When you stop playing the game, you force everyone else to stop, too. It's like walking into a sword fight and offering your opponent a hug. Their entire strategy becomes useless. Think of it like this. Visual. An animation of a complex, futuristic war room. Generals with gnarled, brain-like heads point at holographic maps, plotting troop movements. Outside, a single, simple stick figure is just walking across the battlefield. Your overthinking mind is a command center in a bunker, 100 miles from the battle. It can see every threat, every variable, every possible ambush. Its perfect, logical conclusion is to tell its one soldier, you, to never, ever leave the trench. It's the only way to guarantee 100% safety. The strategic idiot is the soldier who smashes the radio, climbs out of the trench, and just starts walking toward the objective. The generals in the bunker are screaming. It's suicide. A tactical nightmare. He's a fool, but on the battlefield, a strange thing happens. The enemy doesn't know what to do. They were prepared for a flanking maneuver, for an artillery strike, for a covert op. They were not prepared for a guy just walking. It's so stupid, so insane, that it breaks their entire framework. Strategic stupidity is about smashing the radio in your head. It's about leaving the trench and just starting to walk. ## phase 4. The application, music shifts again. A driving, simple, punchy punk rock beat kicks in. A DIY, zine-like aesthetic takes over the screen. Narrator. Okay, enough philosophy. Dostoevsky is dead, you're not. Let's make this real. This isn't about a personality transplant. It's about running practical drills. It's about building new muscles by intentionally flexing them in low-stakes environments. Here is your 4-step training program for cultivating strategic stupidity. Step 1. Perform the idiot's audit. For the next 48 hours, become a spy on yourself. Carry a small notebook or use a notes app. Your mission is to log every single time you kill an impulse. Every time you stop yourself from doing, saying, or creating something. Don't judge it. Just document it. Wanted to ask a question in the meeting, but didn't. Feared it was obvious. Asterisk, had an idea for a drawing, but opened social media instead. Feared it would be bad. Saw an old friend on the street, but avoided eye contact. Didn't know what to say. At the end of 2 days, you will have a detailed map of your own prison. You'll see the bars. You'll see the patterns. This is the first, most crucial step. You can't escape a cage until you know you're in one. Step 2. Execute the 5-second assault. The curse of the knower is a parasite. It needs time to sink its teeth in. Your job is to starve it of that time. From now on, when you feel a positive, creative, or social impulse, you have 5 seconds to act on it physically. A countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. The impulse to talk to that person? You have 5 seconds to take 1 step toward them. The impulse to write that first sentence? You have 5 seconds to open the document and put your hands on the keyboard. The impulse to go to the gym? You have 5 seconds to stand up and put your shoes on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. It's a dumb, simple rule. That's why it works. Step 3. Practice micro-dose honesty. You can't go from a lifetime of social calculation to Myshkin-level sincerity overnight. So start small. Your task is to find one tiny opportunity each day to be uncomfortably, but kindly, honest. When a coworker asks how your weekend was, instead of the default, good, you try, honestly, it was a little rough, but I survived. When someone asks for a favor you can't do, instead of a convoluted excuse, try the simple, terrifying truth. I don't have the capacity for that right now. These are micro doses of authenticity. Each one you practice weakens the mental machinery that runs the social performance. You are teaching your brain, through direct experience, that the world doesn't end when the mask slips for a second. Step 4. Schedule deliberate failure. Your ego is the final boss. You beat it by starving it of its food source, the need for success and approval. You must, deliberately, put yourself in situations where you will look a little foolish. Sign up for an improv class. Go to a dance class when you have 2 left feet. Try to learn a difficult new skill in public. Ask the stupid question in a lecture. Your goal is to get it wrong. Your goal is to be the beginner, the amateur, the one who doesn't know. Each time you survive a moment of social failure, you are building an immunity. You are showing the gnome in your head that its fears are overblown. The judgment of others is not a tiger. It cannot eat you. You build calluses on your ego until it becomes a tool you use, not a tyrant you serve. ### Phase 5. The proof. Visual. The animation returns to the Dostoevsky-style sketches. We see Prince Myshkin in a lavish drawing room. As he speaks, with simple, honest words, the monstrous caricatures around him begin to glitch and decay, their masks cracking. Narrator. Does this actually work? Or is it just a romantic fantasy from a 19th century novel? Look at what happens when Myshkin deploys his stupidity. He walks into a world where everyone is obsessed with money, status, and seduction. He is offered a fortune, and he tries to give it away. He is caught between 2 brilliant, beautiful, and dangerous women, and instead of playing them against each other, he openly declares that he loves them both in different ways. By all the rules of their society, he is a catastrophic failure. He makes terrible decisions. He trusts the wrong people. He ends up broken. But that's not the point. Dostoevsky wasn't writing a self-help book. He was writing a tragedy to prove a point. The point is not that the idiot wins the game. The point is that his very presence reveals that the game itself is rotten, absurd, and not worth winning. He doesn't defeat the liars and schemers, he makes them expose themselves. His simplicity is a mirror, and they can't stand what they see. This isn't just fiction, it's a fundamental principle of disruption. In Zen, they call it Shoshin, or beginner's mind. The mind of the expert is closed, full of prejudice and established procedure. The mind of the beginner, the idiot, is empty, open, and able to see the one obvious solution that everyone else has overlooked. Think about the birth of punk rock. Johnny Rotten, Sid Vicious, these were not virtuoso musicians. They were idiots with guitars. They didn't have the knowledge that told them they had to play complex solos or follow traditional song structures. They had a raw, sincere impulse, and they acted on it. And in doing so, their stupid three-chord anthems completely upended the bloated, self-important prog rock scene of the 70s. Their lack of knowledge was their greatest asset. The logic is undeniable. The mental process of overanalysis, of social calculation, of fear-based planning, it burns an obscene amount of psychic fuel. It is a constant, low-grade fever of the mind. By adopting strategic stupidity, you are not getting dumber. You are reallocating your resources. You are taking all that energy you were wasting on simulating failure and feeding your ego, and you are plowing it directly into action. Into creation. Into connection. You become faster, more agile, and more authentic. In a world of paranoid, overthinking strategists, the simple, honest idiot who just moves is the most unpredictable and dangerous player on the board. Phase 6. The call to action. Visual. The video's aesthetic returns to the opening shot. The figure in the glass box stands up. With a single, simple push, they shatter the glass wall covered in equations. They walk out into a stark, open space. Narrator. The curse of the knower tells you that the world is a complex, terrifying machine, and you are a fragile cog. The power of stupidity is the realization that you can just walk away from the machine. You can refuse to be a part of its grinding, inhuman logic. The freedom is terrifying, and it's right there for the taking. So, here's my question for you. I want you to go down to the comments, that little digital asylum below, and answer this. Let's make a confession. What is one stupid action, one simple impulse, that your intelligent brain has been stopping you from taking? Name it, give it form. Drag it out into the light. That's the first step. Let's see the bars of our cages, together. This is the Normal Life Manifesto. Watch our video, The Architecture of the Cage, Why Your Comfort Zone is a Death Trap. It's the next logical step. The blueprint to your own escape. I put the link right there on the screen. Go on. Don't overthink it. Just click.